Yeah, welcome everyone. We're learning Tractate Shabbos, chapter 6. The name of the chapter is Bameh Isha, and page 61, A1. The Gemara draws an inference from the Mishnah's ruling, Hoyesh v'ragli mako. This ruling implies that if there was a wound in his foot, nofik, he may go out wearing a single sandal. He's allowed to walk on Shabbos the single sandal. Usually you're not allowed to walk with a single one because you might take it off and then carry it. But in this case, since he has a wound, he's allowed to. Behemi now nofik. On which of his feet may he wear the single sandal and go out? The one that has the foot that has the wound in it. Almo kasava sandal shum tsar avid. He is of the opinion that a sandal is worn for the purpose of protecting the foot from pain. V'chio barav omar b'isa shen b'mako. Chio barav said on the foot that does not have the wound in it. Almo kasava l'shum tainegovit. So Bechia said the reason why you wear the sandals is for the purpose of providing comfort rather than protection. And this foot that has wound in it, for its wound attests to it. A person who wears a single sandal has identified himself as one who desires the level of comfort provided by sandals. He therefore may not wear only one sandal, for the absence of its mate will lead others to suspect him of carrying it, or cause them to jeer at him, to stare at him for this abnormal behavior. One who has a wound on his foot, however, may leave that foot unshod. Okay, so there's two opinions. One that you're wearing it on the foot that has the wound, and one says no. The one that says you're wearing it on the foot that has a wound is because of protection, and the one that says you're wearing it on the other foot, the foot that does not have a wound, is because of comfort.
I say it depends.
Rabbi Yochanan Savar Leod Rav Huna, the Amar Rabbi Yochanan Rav Shemen Barabu Avle Misani, give him my shoes. Yavle Diyamin, so he gave him the right shoe. Amar Leasisa Mako, you have made my foot resemble one that has a wound. Presumably Rabbi Yochanan meant that since he would be wearing just his right shoe, it would appear as if he has a wound on that foot. Obviously, then Rabbi Yochanan agrees with Rav Huna that a single shoe or sandal would be worn on the foot that has a wound. But this is not conclusive, for perhaps Rabbi Yochanan concurs with Rabbi Chia bar Rav, who holds that a single shoe would be worn on the foot without the wound. And this is what Rabbi Yochanan was saying. If I were to put my right shoe first, you have made my left shoe or my left foot resemble one that has a wound, for I will be wearing only my right shoe, just as I would if I left my foot, if my left foot had a wound. So Rabbi Yochanan's comment does not prove that he concurs with Rav Huna. As Rabbi Yochanan follows his own reasoning. Just as tefillin are worn on the left hand, af minolin, ma tefillin b'smoil, af minolin b'smoil, just as tefillin is to the left, so the single shoe should be worn, should begin with the left. So when one puts shoes on, when one puts on his shoes, should begin with the left shoe. But for this reason, Rabbi Yochanan would not put the right shoe first. When you're putting your shoes, you first should put the right shoe and then the left shoe. So it's a question on Rabbi Yochanan. Why didn't he want to wear the right first? Now that the Braisa has taught this order, right foot first, and Rabbi Yochanan stated that that order, left foot first, the halacha is the ovad hochi ovad. He who does it this way has done it correctly. And if you do it that way, you're also doing it correctly. Either way is acceptable. Perhaps Rabbi Yochanan never heard of this Paisa. And if he heard this Paisa, and he would have worn the right shoe first. Maybe he heard it, but he holds it. The halacha doesn't follow that Mishnah. One who feels heaven can fulfill both directives. And who is that? And who was it that followed this practice? Mar berei de Rabbona. Mar, the son of Rabbona. How did he accomplish this? He would put on his right shoe, but he would not tie it. And then he would put on his left shoe and tie it. And then he would tie his right shoe. He put on his right shoe first, as the Braisa directs, and he tied his left shoe first, in accordance with Rabbi Yochanan's ruling. Rav Kana is not particular about the order in which he puts on his shoes. First you put the right and then you put the left shoe. When you take them off, first you take off the left and then you take off the right. First taking off the left shoe and then the right shoe. When you wash yourself, you should wash his right hand first, and then afterwards he should wash his left hand. Shusach, and when he anoints his hand with oil, he should anoint his right hand and then afterwards the left hand. From one who wishes to anoint his entire body, he should anoint his head first. Why? Because because the head is the king of all of one's limbs, is the ruler of all of one's limbs.
Let's hope so.
And we not go out with tefillin. Amar Rav Safra, meaning on Shabbos. Amar Rav Safra lo teima aliba deomar Shabbos lavzman tefillu. According to the one, the Mishnah prohibits the wearing of tefillin only according to the one who says that Shabbos is not time for tefillin. But even according to the one who says that Shabbos is time for tefillin, lo yetze, one may not go out while wearing tefillin. Perhaps he will remove them in the street and come to carry them for amos in a public domain. The Ekad Matin al-Seifa, there are those who teach Rav Safra's statement as referring to the latter ruling. But if he goes out wearing any of these items, he is not liable to a chatas. Amar Rav Safra, Loi Seima, do not say Shabbos man tefillinu, that the Mishnah exempt one who goes out with tefillin from liability to a chatas, only according to the one who says that Shabbos is a time for tefillin. Shabbos loves man tefillinu. Rather, the law is that even according to the one who says that Shabbos is not time for tefillin, ein chayav chatas, one is not liable to chatas. My time, because tefillin are worn in the manner of clothing. And we may not go out with an amulet as long as it is not from an expert. one may not wear an amulet until the man who wrote the amulet is a proven expert and the amulet has been proven effective. So two things: the person who wrote it has to be an expert, and the amulet itself has to prove itself to work. If the person is an expert, even if the amulet has not been proven effective, it may be worn. Daikonomi, this can be inferred through a precise reading of the Mishnah Diktani. And he may not go out with an amulet as long as it is not from an expert. And it did not teach that the amulet may not be worn as long as it is not proven effective. Shmamina derived from this that any amulet written by an expert may be worn. What is considered an effective amulet? Kol sheripa v'shana v'shilish. Any amulet that has cured an illness one time and cured the same illness again and cured the same illness a third time. Whether the amulet is of writing or an amulet of roots, of herbs, either by a dangerously ill person or by one who is not dangerously ill, not restricted to one that has already fallen due to disease, rather one may wear it so that he does not fall, and he may tie it and untie it even while in the public domain. And this is as long as he does not tie it. Bashir uvetabas, to a bracelet or a ring, and go out with it to the public domain. Mishumar is signed because of the appearance of wrongdoing, what we call the erroneous eye. Ratanyo ezu kamemumche. What is kamemumche? We said which amulet, effective amulet, is called shirip b'shoshim l'keachot, that has cured three men as one. By the state that that an amulet is proven effective only if it cures three different people. While the first bite state that it is proven effective as long as it has healed three times, even if the same person was healed each time. So lo kasha, do I need three people or the same person? Lo kashio l'machuye gavo, for proving the man, the healer who wrote the amulet, expert. This is only accomplished if he wrote three different amulets that healed three different people. Al-Mchuik Kamiyah speaks of the prerequisite. So, and the Baisa, which requires that the amulet cure three times, speaks of the prerequisite for establishing the amulet as effective. This can be accomplished even by healing one person three times. Amar Rav Papa. Pshitali the tlos kamiyah l'sas gavre. To me, it's obvious, it's simple, that if a healer wrote three different types of amulet for three different people, tloto tloso zimne, and each one of the amulet cured three times, ismache gavu ismache kamiyah, it's proving that the one who wrote the amulet is an expert, and it's the kamiyah itself is effective. Also kamiyah is also gavre. Also obvious that if he wrote the healer wrote three different amulets for three different people, chad zimna, each one of the amulet cured one time, gavre ismeche kamiyah lo ismeche. The man is proven expert, but the amulet is not proven effective. Chad kamiyah is also gavre. If he wrote one amulet for each of the three people, Kamiya ismeche, and it healed them. They're all cured. The amulet is proven effective, Gavo lo ismeche, but the man is not proven expert. By of Papa.
Okay, wait a minute. In the first case, he wrote 3 different amulets for 3 different people, and each one cured one time. So they said he's a mumcha. Then the second time, he wrote 1 amulet for each of the 3.
Well, 1. It's only 1. That's why.
1 amulet. No, it says 1 amulet for each of 3 people.
Right. So total 3, not 9.
No. I didn't say 9. I don't know. It's not 9. I got that. 1 amulet for each of 3 people suffering from the same illness, and they were all cured. Okay. The amulet is proven effective. So wait a minute. So, 1 amulet.
It says because once it cured 3 different people, it is established as an effective amulet.
So you give one. So the guy, I would give one.
Reuben, Shimon, and Levi,
but they would take turns with the same amulet, or they would have 3 different amulets made of the same stuff.
3 different amulets made from the same.
All right. Okay.
For the same type of sickness.
Okay. Fine. Okay. I just had a.
If one wrote 3 different amulets for a single person, what is the law? The amulet is certainly not proven effective. But the man is proven expert or not. We say that this healer has cured him 3 times, and therefore the healer should be proven expert. Or maybe it was his mazel that he was cured. The Kabul Ksova was the mazel of that man that accepts the cure of amulets. The Gemara says, Teiku, let this question stand. Amulets have intrinsic sanctity. Or perhaps amulets do not have intrinsic sanctity. What is the law? To what law was this question raised? If you wish to say, to save them from fire on the Shabbos, the question is easily resolved. Tashma, come and learn the answer from the following bite. Blessings and amulets. Although they contain letters of God's names and psukim from many sanctions of the Torah, we do not save them from a bonfire. When they are allowed to burn in their place. So again, blessings and amulets, although they contain letters of God's name and verses from many sections of the Torah, we do not save them from a bonfire on Shabbos, and they are allowed to burn in their place. This Paisa clearly states that amulets may not be saved. Rather, the question was concerning the hiding away of worn out amulets. Do we need to put them in Gniza? Do we need to treat them specially or hide them away or not? Tashma, if one of the names of God was written on the handles of utensils, karamita, on the legs of a bed, you must cut that section off and hide it away. We see from this bite that the names of God must be stored away. This would apply to amulets as well. Rather, what about entering a bathroom with these amulets? They have kedusha and it's prohibited, or they don't have kedusha and it's permitted. It says an amulet, when it is not from an expert, So obviously, if it's minimum, if it's from an expert, you're allowed to take it outside. But if you said that amulets have intrinsic sanctity, sometimes the wearer of the amulet, will need to use the bathroom when he would carry it for amos in public domain. From the fact that the Mishnah does not seem to be concerned with this possibility, we see that amulets do not have intrinsic sanctity. So we're dealing with an amulet made of roots and herbs, or roots of herbs, that definitely has no sanctity. It cannot be proven from our Mishnah that amulets do not have sanctity. But we learned both of them can be effective. An effective amulet may be either an amulet of writing or an amulet of roots of herbs. This Baisa teaches that one may wear even an amulet of writing if it is proven effective, not just the one that made out of roots of herbs. We're dealing with a person who is dangerously ill, who will certainly wear his amulet at all times. Whether we're dealing with a person who is dangerously ill or a person who is not dangerously ill, the original proof still stands. Says in 32, for the Mishnah is teaching that an effective amulet may be worn even by a moderately ill person. Obviously, then, the sages were not concerned that a person would remove it before relieving himself. And this would only be true if amulets have no intrinsic sanctity. Since the amulet cures them, even if he holds it in his hand, it is fine, meaning it is permitted, even if the amulet has intrinsic sanctity. One will be permitted to wear it outside. Continue, God willing, tomorrow.